Hi everyone, Angus Campbell here. Wednesday the 14th of July, I think, 2021. Right, back in the garage after a weekend away family-wise post Stafford. So all that I've done since the bike's got dumped back in the garage is just done a bit of shuffling around. So I've got a bit of space round the Lightning because we're just going to check it over in preparation for another test run out either tomorrow or Friday, because the weather forecast is very good. And I wanted to give it a bit of testing because if it runs all right, then I'm going to tempt fate and ride it over to Founders Day at Stamford Hall, which is on Sunday, which will be the 18th, I think, 18th of July. I thought this year I wouldn't be able to make it because I thought it was clashing with another personal event the following weekend, but as it's this Sunday I can, and if I get there early enough I might be able to get it on the put it in the BSA Owners Club enclosure as well. So I now got to top it up with a bit of oil, so I'm going to use a bit of oil treatment, STP or Wins. I usually use that, especially on a tight motor. It did sump a bit of oil. It doesn't sump as badly as the Rocket 3 or the Fury, but it did sump. So I've emptied that and dumped it, and I'm going to top it up with fresh, and then we'll do a check round on it and maybe even a test start in the garage, and then we know we'll all be ready for a test ride out. So let me have a check round it, and I'll bring you back when we do a test start in the garage. Okay, there she is going. Had a few problems. Okay, took me a bit longer to get it going than I'd expected because I found I was getting an intermittent spark, and initially I couldn't start it, and eventually, after checking the usual suspects, points, etc., I actually traced it back to some bad contacts on the earth point, sorry, on the spades, on the coils on both sides. So I tightened up those spades, and hey presto, she went first kick, and as you can see there, she's running quite nicely. A little tappety at the top, but hey, it's an A65 A70 twin, so it's bound to be. So anyway, I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm going to do a few more test starts tomorrow, as it's getting a bit late tonight, just to check that everything's all okay. Points gaps all checked, they were fine. Points were nice and clean, so I couldn't really understand what was going on until I checked out those connections. I also made sure that the bullets were tight between the points up to the coils, and actually they weren't too good either. So I think we might have solved maybe a niggly problem that was compounding other issues in the early days when we were messing about with the timing. So fingers crossed. So anyway, I'm pleased with that. We'll check the oil level again. Just need to top it up probably with a bit more, and then as I say, I'll do a few test starts in the garage tomorrow, and then we'll take it out for a spin. Hi everyone, right, next day, about midday. So now we'll do a cold start, because one of the things I need to test as well is getting the sequence and all the particulars right with respect to starting it reliably. So stone cold after the run last night, not done anything to it. All I've done is check the oil, and none of it's sumped. It needs topping up a bit, but once the oil's warmed up, I'm going to add some oil treatment to it, as I said yesterday. So let's get over there, fuel on, test the battery, and away we go. Hopefully okay, fuel on. Just check battery. Battery all good. Bit of a tickle. Full choke. Ignition on. I'll just put it on its back wheel. There we go. Catch it, never mind. Okay, pleased with that. It obviously needs you to leave the throttle off to sort of prime it. So even after tickling and with full choke, it still needs 2 or 3 kicks, as you saw, to draw the fuel through with no throttle first, and then it picks up okay. So that's good. So I'll do a few more tests with that, but I'm going to give it another bit of a run now, get the oil warmed up a little bit, so I can top it up then with the oil treatment. But anyway, yeah, pleased with that. She sounds well, sounds nice and crisp, and also now there's a bit more oil at the top end following yesterday's run, definitely not quite so rattly as well. Right, a few more tests in the garage, similar to the one that we've just done, and the next clip will be me either this afternoon or tomorrow Friday, strapped up with the GoPro, and we'll take it out for a local run first just to make sure everything's in order, then we'll go a little bit further afield. Right, Saturday the 17th of July. After a couple more test startups in the garage in the last couple of evenings, I've just been around the block a few times on another test ride, and all seems fine. So I'll put the GoPro on, and I'm just about to take it out into the countryside, and we'll get some footage for a bit of a longer test. And this in preparation for Founders Day at Stamford Hall tomorrow on the 18th, where I'm hoping to go on this, and if we get there it'll be on the in the BSA enclosure. So we need to get a bit more testing done this afternoon, but Stamford Hall's not a big ride away, probably 15 miles if that, actually nothing really. So we'll try and do that now around the countryside and see how she gets on. But yeah, a couple of miles round and round the local block. Sounds alright, no, doesn't appear to be any oil leaks. So let's go for it on the GoPro. Oh, well, as you saw on the GoPro footage, hopefully, you know, after all the testing I've been doing going round the block locally next to my house, no problems. As soon as I take it out again and just go to the other side of the closest village, which is Great Bowden near Market Harborough, in between Great Bowden and Thorpe Langton, it doesn't like that route at all. If you remember the first ride out, that's when it started to fail with the head gasket. Anyway, now it went on to one cylinder. Thought I'd coax it home gently on the left hand one, although it's a bit dangerous, a bit risky, I know. But anyway, managed to get half a mile on it and it started to lose power. So stop, and we probably pushed it about 1.75 miles home, which obviously I'm used to, but not in 30-degree heat actually. But anyway, we did it. A friend stopped. He was passing by, a good friend of mine. He didn't laugh. He offered me fluids, etc., and tow ropes and stuff like that, but I was nearly home then, so I thanked him and cracked on. Right. That means we're going to Stamford Hall tomorrow on the old bloody faithful Rocket 3. She's all ready to go. I fired her up today anyway. Just got to transfer, put the number plate on it, wink wink. But initial thoughts, right, there's no oil coming out of anywhere. That's good news. There's tons of compression on each cylinder. That's good news. There's oil pressure. Oil pressure warning light didn't come on until after I'd turned off the ignition and the engine had stopped. That's good. So it can only be timing or fuel. I did have the tool set in there and did have the tools to take the points cover off, and the points look fine unless the whole timing is slipped, but I very much doubt that. But anyway, it's a possibility. Unfortunately, the damn toolkit didn't have a plug spanner in it or anything to take a plug out, so it might be plugs. That's been a problem with it before, but it did sound to get very rattly, and also when it was on one cylinder I think it was starting to pink as well. So I'm veering towards, well, first checking the tappets big time. It was I know the rattly motors, but it was a bit more rattly on both sides than I would have liked. So we'll check that with a rocker cover, and then we'll check the timing again. It's got fuel. It was tickling all right. There's no vacuum in the fuel tank, which you might have suspected, but the tank breather is working all right. So I don't think it's too much. But I've lost weight again, which is great news, and I'm fitter than I was. So we'll come back again. We'll end it there. Thanks very much for your continued interest, everyone. We will get this right. I mean, if we didn't have this to fettle, what else would I be doing now? I suppose starting the Fury. But anyway, you can see I'm shaking a little bit. Sorry about that. But anyway, all I've got to do is put the number plate onto the Old Faithful, and we'll go to Stamford Hall on that, and we'll put that on the BSA stand instead, as I think it's more than worthy. And in fact, at Stafford recently, I got just as much interest in the old Rocket 3 as I did the Fury. So there you go. It's just an attractive bike, and my daughter, it's her favourite too. It is a great looking bike. Anyway, leave it there. Thanks very much, everybody. I'm going to take some footage at Stamford Hall. Should be on the BSA stand, but moseying about. And I'll see you all again soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.